You're listening to part 1 of this audiobook. Enjoy the story? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Now, let's begin part 1. Chapter 1 Godlike Expansion. In the evening of Huaxia, Zhejiang Province and Ning County, the sun sets in the west, and half of the sky is red. A young man is working in a pet supply store. Looking at the sky outside the house, he can't help but sigh. Yehao is an office worker. He is 25 years old this year. After graduation, he has found a job in a company, and he has been doing it for 3 years. The company has grown from a small company originally. Yehao can say that there is no credit in hard work, but for Yehao's efforts, the company has not given corresponding rewards. Yehao works diligently, but the salary can be said to be pitiful. Even the salary of some newcomers to the company is similar to his, and some girls who don't do anything, the salary is higher than Yehao. This is simply unbearable. In fact, with Yehao's easygoing temperament, it is very satisfying to have a place to live, but the family sees that Yehao has graduated for several years, and he has not found a girlfriend, and the job is still such a pit. Therefore, he gave Yehao a death order to either find a girlfriend or change jobs to find a better way out. But Yehao is too homey, the company's family is 2 o'clock in one line. The company's girls either have famous flowers, or Yehao doesn't like them either. The social circle is too small, and there is no hope for girlfriends. So Yehao resigned from his job with a heartless heart. Yehao, who lost his job, had nowhere to go for a while, so he opened a pet supply store under the suggestion of a friend's helping hand. Nowadays, people's living standards are constantly rising, and their material needs can basically be met, but most of them are spiritually empty. So now more and more people keep pets, especially those who keep cats and dogs are on the rise every year. Friends helping hand. Although Yehao didn't save much money for his work these years, he could still pay the rent for half a year, and let his parents subsidize some money for a small pet supplies. The store has already opened successfully. But the idea is good, but the reality is cruel. Yehao, who has been open for nearly half a month, looks at the store every day. There are not many customers, and most of them just come in and leave. Hey, everything is difficult at the beginning, don't be discouraged, Yehao. Yehao said, cheering to himself. Yehao, who was looking out the window, suddenly shrank his eyes. He seemed to see a red light from the burning clouds in the sky shooting towards the ground. This is... Yehao rubbed his eyes and found that the red light still exists. This is not illusion. Is it a shooting star? Yehao, who felt magical, walked out of the store, came to the street outside, and looked up. No, why does it seem like this red light is getting closer and closer to me? Yehao, who just had this idea, was shot into his forehead by this red light. Yehao suddenly felt dark in front of his eyes and dizzy, so he couldn't help holding the door handle of the pet supply store. What's the matter? Are you too tired and a little dizzy these days? Did you just see illusion? Yehao endured the discomfort of dizziness, slowly walked back to the store, and sat on a chair. It seems that we should close our business early today and take a rest. There is no business anyway. Congratulations to the host, the fusion is successful, and the Pokemon pet system is bound. An abrupt mechatronic synthesis sounded in Yehao's mind. Yehao said, what is it, who is it? Ma Dan has hallucinations. This system is a pet Pokemon system that was bred together by all the beasts in the Pokemon world. The host is lucky, congratulations, the odds are much lower than winning the lottery. Yehao's eyebrows flicked, leaving a drop of cold sweat. What the hell, is he talking to himself? Can you talk to me? Which country's black technology is this, so awesome? Nonsense, this system can let you break away from Pan-Keho from now on, and then embark on the subversion of life. The corners of Yehao's mouth twitched, and he seemed to be despised by this system. Yehao said, then I want to ask, what is the use of this system? This system exists to allow the host to become the owner of an awesome Pokemon pet store. Yehao wondered, what do you mean, what Pokemon? The host should know about the game Pokemon. This system can provide the host with a supply of Pokemon, so that the host can become a great Pokemon pet shop owner. Yehao couldn't help but be very excited when he heard it. He is naturally familiar with Pokemon Yehao. Yehao has played the Pokemon Fire Red version of GBA since the beginning, and has played Pokemon Sun and Moon version of the 3DS until now. Now it looks like he's about to fulfill his years-long wish to have his own Pokemon. Yehao said, "That's great, I want Salamins, Tyranitar and Eevee to give me a dozen." Host, don't be so excited. The system can't give you your request now. To get these Pokemon, the host needs to work hard to complete the task. What the hell, I know it's not that simple, so how can I get Pokemon? Yehao said with rolled eyes. Based on Yehao's many years of experience in reading novels, there are not many reliable systems in general novels, and they are basically pit comparisons. Pokemon Pet System. Host, Yehao, bound. Novice task, if the young Pankangcha wants to subvert his life and win by Fume, he first needs to bind a pet shop of his own. Mission time, 1 week. Completion reward, provides a random Pokemon every day. Failure penalty, obliteration. The system, how to bind it, can this pet supply store do it? Yehao couldn't help but calm down when he saw the words punishment. As long as the store belongs to the host, it can be bound into a pet store. Yehao heard that it was okay, that's fine, thinking that he would become a pet shop owner selling Pokemon in the future, he was a little excited when he thought about it. Really okay to sell Pokemon so blatantly, you won't be pulled by the state to drink tea. Thinking of this, Yehao hurriedly said, "No, system, if I open such a pet shop, if others find out, it will definitely be destroyed by humanity." The system said, "Don't worry, host, although your pet store is physical, as long as the system is bound, a subspace will be generated, which is still a pet supply store on the surface. At that time, the objects you operate will be owned by all the people in the world. People who love Pokemon, when given the chance, will step into your pet store to complete a transaction, and no one will ever find out where your pet store is." When the system said this, Yehao couldn't help feeling relieved, as long as his identity was not revealed, everything would be easy to say. Then the system should be bound to this pet supply store. Yehao said. "Okay, host. Start scanning, the conditions are met, the binding starts 1%, 10%, 30%, 70%, 100%, the binding is successful. The speed of the system binding is very fast. In less than a minute, the binding has been successful." Yehao felt a strange energy enveloped his pet supply store. "Start building the subspace, the estimated time is 12 hours. Yehao heard that the system had already started to build the subspace Pokemon pet store. Yehao knew that it was another identity of his in the future. The legendary Pokemon pet shop owner is about to be born, and whoever wants Pokemon, get your baby in exchange. Yehao was a little excited when he thought about it. No, he was a little dizzy again. It's better to close the store first, lest someone break in and delay the establishment of the Pokemon pet store. Enjoying Part 1 so far? This is only the beginning. Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue the story. Now, let's continue. Chapter 2 Extraction, Rattata. Got the Pokemon pet system, was still a little confused, and the system was busy, so Yehao went to the second floor of the pet supply store to rest. The second floor is a bedroom and a warehouse. Yehao usually sleeps on the second floor and rarely goes home. Once he gets home, Yehao, who has accomplished nothing, will face his parents in silence. Yehao encountered this bizarre incident and could not help but sleep until dawn the next day. He didn't wake up until the alarm rang at 7 o'clock. He slept for at least 12 hours. Yehao, who had just woken up, remembered what happened yesterday and said, "Why did you have such a strange dream yesterday? It seems that you haven't had a good rest these days." Host, the pet Pokemon store has been successfully opened, and you will be a great store manager from now on. Yehao heard it. Well, it turned out to be true, all this was not a dream. He put on his clothes as quickly as possible, brushed his teeth and washed his face. Yehao, who went downstairs, said, "System, how does this pet Pokemon shop operate?" Host, don't worry, you have completed the novice task, and the reward is that you can draw a Pokemon every day. The Pokemon drawn is naturally the source of supply. As long as there are Pokemon in the pet store, the pet store will take the initiative to find customers for the host. That's not bad, as long as you stay in the store and wait, it is most suitable for lazy people like me. This Pokemon pet system is really convenient. Can I use the Pokemon I've drawn? Yehao said. The host is basically too low now, and the Pokemon in the store cannot be used temporarily, but it can be used for a short time in case of danger. As long as the system is upgraded to the first level, the host can be full-time for the host, and the host can have his own Pokemon at that time. Hearing the system, Yihao breathed a sigh of relief. He thought that he could only sell it to some people, but he couldn't use it himself. Well, as long as the system can be upgraded, the future is very promising. When I got downstairs, I glanced at the store. System, how do I get to the Pokemon pet store? The host only needs to meditate 3 times to enter the Pokemon pet space. Oh, so that's the case. Yihao recited 3 times in his mind according to the system's words. Yihao felt that after brushing the scene in front of him, he came to a store 10 times larger than his own pet supply store. Yihao's body was actually still in the store outside. It was Yihao's consciousness who entered the Pokemon pet store, but the 5 senses were all there, and the feeling was no different from reality. Who came to the Pokemon pet store, felt very new to everything. The atmosphere of the building and decoration here is very similar to the style in the Pokemon anime. However, Yihao tried it and found that many areas were not open. Only the lobby, the front desk and the Pokemon nursing room could be entered. Yihao tried other places but couldn't get through. NT help asking, System, why are there so many places in the store that I can't get into? The host's authority is not enough, please try to upgrade the host, and you will know later. Yihao, who was returned by the system, couldn't help but rub his nose. Okay, there's nothing you can do if you don't say anything. Yihao can't wait for Pokemon. If so, let's draw today's Pokemon first. Is the system capable of doing today's daily Pokemon draws? Of course you can, as long as you go to the front desk, there is a machine there, just press the button above, and a Pokemon will be randomly sent to the host. But now the host can only randomly go to the Pokemon in the Kanto region. If you want to follow other regions, the Pokemon need the host to unlock slowly. So amazing, Yihao couldn't wait to come to the front desk and found that there was a strange instrument on it, but there was a red button above the front of the instrument. Yihao walked to the instrument and said, Gods from all walks of life, bless me to get the best Pokemon. After Yihao pressed the button, the instrument beeped, and then a white light shot out from the instrument. Bright blinded Yihao's titanium alloy dog's eyes. I'll go, the movement is so loud, it must be a powerful Pokemon. As the strong light slowly disappeared, what appeared in front of Yihao was a mouse with big ears, red triangular eyes, long whiskers, a purple body, a white abdomen, and a slightly curled tail, the mouse Pokemon. Ma Dan, isn't this Rattata? Yihao yelled, this Rattata basically belongs to Pokemon in the Pokemon game, and ordinary players will not cultivate it. What's the host's excitement? These are all supplies from pet stores, they're all for sale, as long as someone wants it, it's not your own Pokemon. Yes, this is the real world, not to mention Rattata, even Magikarp will probably have a bunch of people buying it. Host, Pokemon are divided into races and qualifications, and the host can scan Pokemon to check. Yihao nodded and scanned the data at Rattata. Rattata, general attributes, height 30 cm, weight 3.5 kg. Trait, perseverance, if becomes abnormal, attack will increase. Qualification, 2-star, ordinary, double comprehension racial value, ordinary. Status, level 5, nascent. Tricks, tackle, tail whip, quick attack. Comprehensive combat strength, basic combat strength for novices, basically scumbags. After reading the Rattata data, sure enough, fortunately, there was no hope, and the data was also intoxicating. But the data is not the same as the Pokemon you play, Yihao asked, the system, how is the Pokemon's racial value and aptitude divided, and how is the combat power calculated? Pokemon race value is divided into 9 levels, ordinary, excellent, rare, king, quasi-god, sub-god, divine beast, super, god, and creation god. 499 is rare, 500 to 599 is king, 600 and above, including 600, are quasi-gods, the last 4 are divine beasts, racial values below 600 are sub-gods, 600 to 679 are divine beasts, 680 to 719 it belongs to the super god level. Above 720, including 720, is the creation god level. The temporary evolution of Mega is not the basic race value, and the latter 4 are generally not available. Pokemon qualifications are divided into 1-star scum, 2-star mediocre, 3-star high quality, 4-star boutique, 5-star leader, 6-star king, 7-star emperor, no 1 in 10,000, 8-star god, unparalleled in the world, 9-star holy, 100-year-old. Rare. Aptitude determines perception, 1-star basic perception, 2-star double perception, 3-star threefold perception, 4-star fourfold perception, 5-star fivefold perception, 6-star tenfold perception, 7-star 20-fold perception, 8-star 50-fold perception. 9-star comprehension is unpredictable. The power of Pokemon is divided by level. Novice below level 10, level 10 to level 19 third level, level 20 to level 29 second level, level 30 to level 39 first class, level 40 to level 49 superior, level 50 to level 59 king, level 60 to level 69 quasi-elite, level 70 to level 79 elite, level 80 to level 89 champion, level 90 to level 99 title champion, level 100 is Saint Pokemon, the only strength that Pokemon in this series can achieve, and only one per race. The combat power is also different at the same stage. According to the racial value, skill proficiency, influenced by aptitude and perception, physical strength, characteristics, and noble phantasm, there are many combat power divisions. More than double the combat power belongs to the strong combat power, and 10 times the combat power. The power is the power of Tianjiao, and more than 30 times is the supreme power. This is the most words that the system has said in one breath. Yehao is still confused. It is much more complicated than the division of Pokemon. It seems that Pokemon in the real world is indeed more complicated than in the game. Yehao picked up Rattata and touched Rattata's head. The intimacy between the owner and Pokemon is 60 by default, and the full value is 100. So Rattata didn't shoot Yehao, but had some intimacy. Yehao touched Rattata and felt a little hairy. It seems that I'm going to find you a better host, so you don't suffer. Knowing that a Pokemon like Rattata can only have advanced combat power unless it takes a lot of effort to cultivate it, it is estimated that it can only be kept as a pet. Third chapter, Meet the Beauty Zioxin. In view of the fact that the host is drawing Pokemon for the first time, a normal ball is specially presented. Release task, Zio by shopkeeper, go to complete the first transaction, sell Rattata, the price must be more than 500,000. Task time, 1 day. Completion reward, unlock the Pokeball area. Failure penalty, decrease in height by 3 centimeters. I'm going, this is all a punishment, it's too much to reduce the height. Yehao's height is only 175 centimeters, and he will die if he loses any more. And what the hell is a day's mission time, where can I find someone to sell it, and 500,000 is not something that ordinary people can afford, you are asking me to fool the local tyrants. System, when you come out, I promise not to kill you. If no one comes today, then I won't be able to finish it. Warning, the host is not allowed to intimidate the system, and the host can rest assured, the pet store will automatically delete people who have the tendency and ability to buy Pokemon to enter the store, the host will just wait, and the system will get 9 for the money obtained from the transaction. The host gets 1. Yehao nodded. Now that he can only trust the powerful functions of the pet shop, it is best not to be as pitiful as the system. As the owner of the store, I have money to pay dividends. If I can sell it, I will pay it out. However, if the system deducts some points, it will give me a dividend, Yehao thought weakly. Then what should I do if I sell Pokemon to a customer and cause him trouble? Pokemon's appearance is so peculiar, and many people know it, what should I do if it causes a sensation? Yayu asked with a little worry. Host, this is all under consideration by the pet store, and the world you live in is not that simple. The weak Pokemon in the early stage will not bring waves to the host's world. Yayu couldn't help being a little curious when she heard the system say this. Could it be that there is an unknown side to this world? I went and lived in vain for so many years, since the system says so, then I'm relieved. Put the Rattata into the Pokemon breeding room, and after putting it away, the consciousness exited the Pokemon pet store and returned to his own pet supply store. Yehao touched his stomach. He hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Let's solve the problem of the 5 Zhang Temple. Anyway, he is not in a hurry. After leaving the store, Yehao came to a breakfast restaurant across the street. The owner of the store was a middle-aged couple. The breakfast was rich. The steamed buns, egg cakes, wonton, soy milk and mung bean soup were all delicious. Therefore, the business has been very hot, and Yehao's breakfast has been basically dealt with at this store for the past 2 weeks. Walking into the breakfast shop, Yehao familiarly sat in a position near the door and said to the boss, "Boss, bring me a bowl of wontons and a bowl of soup dumplings." The boss naturally recognizes Ye Hao. These days, Ye Hao comes to the store for breakfast almost every day. Ye Hao is the young boss of the newly opened pet supply store opposite. The boss also knows this. It is also a small business operation idea, and the boss has a good impression of Ye Hao. Okay, Zioxin, get Ye Hao a bowl of soup dumplings first, the wontons will have to wait. The boss said to a figure behind him. Zioxin responded, took out a basket of soup dumplings and took it to Ye Hao's seat. Here, be careful with the heat. Ye Hao heard the soft and ruthless voice in his ear, looked up and saw a young girl in yellow looking at him with a smile, with a slender body, bumps and a perfect curve on the chest, swearing the grandeur of a certain place. The facial contour is soft, the facial features are delicate, there is not a trace of excess fat under the fragrant cheeks, the skin is brighter than snow, and the eyes are like a flood of water. This girl's appearance is extremely beautiful. She had long black hair tied back in a ponytail. Ye Hao looked at it for a while, and when he saw the girl's angry eyes, he couldn't help blushing. It was rude to look at a girl so recklessly. Immediately he said, I'm sorry, but I was in this store for a long time, and only the boss and the boss's wife were busy. I didn't expect a beautiful girl to come today, so I was a little stunned. Zioxin smiled and nodded, I'm the boss's daughter. I was in college before, and it was rare to come back. Now I'm here to help after the summer vacation. Ye Hao was a little confused, just like the boss, he can give birth to such a perfect child daughter. To paraphrase a sentence, the boss must have saved the world in his previous life, actually, it should be the boss's wife. From the outline, the boss must have been a beautiful woman when she was young, but now she is a little fat. I really don't know how the boss got married like a bear. A beauty like Xiao Xin is the focus of everyone wherever she goes, so she is naturally immune to Ye Hao's gaze. Ye Hao said with a smile, it turned out to be the little boss. It seems that I am blessed to be able to find a breakfast restaurant with a good taste and a beautiful little boss. No one dislikes beautiful girls, and Ye Hao is no exception. And Ye Hao, who has no girlfriend after graduating from college, can't help but feel a little changed. We are all neighbors, and every day we look up and see each other, maybe we can get some ember out. Ye Hao's jokes made the atmosphere between the two liven up a lot. Zioxin said angrily, what little boss is so ugly, eat your food, I'm busy. After speaking, the little butt turned around and left. Ye Hao wanted to talk more, but seeing that Xiao Xin was unwilling to talk more, he didn't give up. Ye Hao fiercely took a bite of the soup dumpling. Oh, I'm going, it's so hot. He said it was hot, but he didn't spit it out immediately. Hearing Ye Hao's exclamation, Zioxin turned around and glanced at Ye Hao. Seeing Ye Hao's ti, she couldn't help but chuckle. After eating 2 soup dumplings in a row, there are 4 in a cage, and just about to eat the third one, Zioxin came over with a bowl of wontons. Smile, he said, why do you eat so fast, Nyo, your wontons are more delicious when they are combined together. Thank you little boss. Ye Hao said, passing the wonton handed over by Zioxin. Zioxin replied, I said, don't call me the little boss, but I'm Xiao Yuxin, you can just call me Zioxin. Ye Hao smiled slightly, there is a door, this has taken the initiative to pass the name, Ye Hao said, Xiao Yuxin, the name is very charming, it sounds very nice, my name is Ye Hao, Ye of the leaves, Hao Ran and the righteous Hao, is the opposite. The manager of a pet supply store, you can come and play when you are free. Zioxin said happily after listening to it, I wrote it down, Ye Hao, I didn't expect you to be a small boss, and you came to tease me. I heard that it is very profitable to buy pet supplies now. I will visit when I have time. Yes, now I'm busy, so I won't talk anymore. Ye Hao looked at Zioxin's back, it was getting more and more interesting these days, he just got an incredible system. Then I met a beautiful, confident and generous girl. I have to say, Ye Hao was a little moved, but he didn't know if she had a boyfriend. I'll find a chance to ask next time. Fate is so wonderful. Although Ye Hao and Zioxin met for the first time, Ye Hao felt a heartbeat like never before. After graduating from college, I didn't have the time or chance to meet the girl I was interested in. I didn't expect that just after I quit my job, I would have such a character after opening a store for half a month. It seems that I did not choose the wrong way to open a store. Ye Hao, you have been transferred, it is no longer the past Pankei's beautiful and happy life, which is calling you like raindrops. After breakfast, Ye Hao and the shop owner settled the bill, and at the same time said hello to Zioxin and left. There is no need to be so impatient. With the system, Yehao is extremely confident, and there is time to slowly attack the girl. The most important thing now is how to find a way to sell Ratata and complete the task, otherwise it is not a joke to reduce the height of 3 centimeters. Thinking of this, Yehao quickly returned to his pet supply store, and he heard the system's voice just after returning to the store. Diddy, remind the host, the Pokemon pet store has welcomed its first customer, I hope the host will perform well. Hearing the system's words, Yehao was excited for a while. Yo, the guests are coming so soon, close the door and welcome the guests. Chapter 4 Fool the First Customer. Pokemon Pet Store consciously with anticipation. Yehao was still a little curious about the first customer of his Pokemon Pet Store. What kind of person is so lucky to have a Pokemon that exists in 2 dimensions? You must know that even Yehao doesn't have his own Pokemon now, he is just a shopkeeper who is responsible for selling Pokemon. Came to the Pokemon Pet Store, Yehao appeared at the front desk and saw a fat man, a wretched fat man with glasses, about 20. Yehao complained for a while that Mao was a fat man, and his appearance was so obscene. He felt that he could play a bus satyr in any movie or TV series, a local gangster who molested a girl, etc. What are the criteria for selecting customers for this Pokemon Pet Store? I go. At this time, Fatty looked at the environment of the pet shop with a surprised expression, and was shocked when he saw Yehao suddenly appear. Then he looked at Yehao in surprise and said, "Are you some kind of god? Come over to help me pass through, just give me a golden finger, I know that I am the life of the protagonist, haha." Yehao heard a cold sweat on his head. This is a middle school disease, it needs to be treated. Which hospital did he come from? Ahem, sorry to disappoint you, I'm not a god, I'm just a pet store manager. Yehao said to Fatty. When facing the customer, the system will automatically generate a mask, so Fatty can't see Yehao's face, only a red and white cartoon mask. Hearing Yehao's words, Fatty's originally surprised face instantly broke out in cold sweat. Pet store, what the hell, this is not kidnapping, I'll go, I know that good things like crossing will not end. On my head. Seeing Fatty's startled expression, Yehao complained in his heart, Ma Dan, this Fatty's expression pack is rich, and his brain is really big. Yehao looked at the fat man and said, don't make a fuss, you will know why you came here when you think about it yourself. I don't think you have amnesia. Yehao also wants to know how this Pokemon pet store pulls customers in. Fatty heard it, he thought back and said, after hearing what you said, I seem to have remembered it. Today, when I was playing LOL with a few friends, a strange pop-up advertisement popped up. Then I clicked in with a cheap hand. There was a sentence on it asking me if I wanted a Pokemon of my own. Ma Dan, it looked like an advertisement for Boundless Games, and then the man was confused and wanted it, and then he saw it. Came to nowhere as soon as it got dark. I'll go, so I'm not cheating my teammates. Yehao was dumbfounded when he heard it. It seems that this pet store is very good and powerful. How can there be a sense of sight that is often used in novels through this method? No wonder this little fat man suspects that he is going to cross, and it is open early in the morning. What the hell? Yehao listened and said, that's right, my pet shop is the Pokemon pet shop that sells Pokemon. You can buy your own Pokemon when you come to me. Pokemon Fat Man of the Pokemon game is naturally aware of it, and he was very obsessed with it for a while, played for a long time, and watched a lot of anime. The fat man said excitedly, you didn't lie to me, boss, then I want the Desert Tyrant Tyranitar, this is my favorite Pokemon. Seeing Fatty's excited eyes, Yehao said in his heart, Mass, this is also one of Lao Tzu's favorites. If Lao Tzu has Tyranitar, he will sell it to you, you stupid bird. Cough, brother, I can understand your feelings, but this store is a new store opening, Tyranitar does not. Yehao said embarrassedly. What kind of Pokemon is there? Old Spray, Arcanine is also fine, even if you come to a skin god to buy cute, I like all of them. Fatty was a little disappointed when he heard that there was no Tyranitar, but he also understood, after all, it is a quasi-god Pokemon, more rare. None. Yehao said calmly. Beaten the fat man with 3 left and right 3 fists. Also. Upon hearing Yehao's words, Fatty became completely uneasy, and there was nothing like a Pokemon pet shop. Then tell me, boss, what Pokemon do you have here? The fat man asked simply. Yehao replied, although the supply is temporarily insufficient, I have a Pokemon that is definitely suitable for you. Hearing Ye Hao's serious words, Fatty raised a glimmer of hope. What Pokemon? Ye Hao waved his hand and said, follow me. After speaking, he took the lead towards the Pokemon nursing room. As soon as the fat man heard it, he hurriedly followed. No matter what it was, he had to meet the real Pokemon. Walking to the door of the pet breeding room, the door opened automatically. Ye Hao walked in, and Fatty followed. Entering the pet breeding room, there are rows of breeding warehouses, each with 6 hollows in the center of the circle, and only one of the breeding warehouses has a red and white Pokeball on the hollow in the center of the circle. Pokeball from the breeding warehouse and said to the fat man, okay, I'll decide it's you, come out. Pokeball into the open space after shouting the slogan of the second middle school. With a bang, a white light shot out of the Pokeball, and the white light slowly turned into a creature. Slap, the Pokeball shot back into Ye Hao's hand. The Pokeball has an automatic tour function, and will return to the hand along the route it was thrown. Of course, it's best to keep your hands still, or you'll fail if you hit your face. Watching Ye Hao's series of actions, Fatty was stunned. Although he had watched Pokemon anime countless times, he was still amazed that it actually happened in front of him. It's so cool, it's so handsome. Why is it a Rattata? The fat man said in amazement in the previous sentence, but when he saw a purple mouse Pokemon appearing from the white light, he couldn't help but complain. Ye Hao replied, otherwise, what do you think, if it really is what you said, Tyranitar, Charizard, if you want to release it in the outside world, the country may come to you for tea, but this Rattata is different, at most a novelty pet. Ye Hao had already thought about his words, and planned to sell Rattata foolishly first. The fat man's name is Shi Pingan, and his name is a little old-fashioned, but his father is a big rich man, so Shi Pingan can be said to be an out-and-out rich second generation. Shi Pingan listened to Ye Hao's words and knew that what Ye Hao said made sense. Enan, that's right, the ghosts believe it, asshole, why do you want Rattata? People like Pikachu and Eevee are also very harmonious. Yes, it really doesn't work, so can Pidgey, Bobo. Boss, you don't have only one Pokemon, do you? Your Pokemon pet shop is too much. Looking at Fatty's contemptuous eyes, Ye Hao was speechless. If you like to buy it or not. If you don't buy it, you will pull it down. Even if Rattata is in the real world, it's enough for you to pretend, and it's more face-saving than raising a Tibetan Mastiff. Ye Hao said with a guilty conscience. Shi Pingan nodded, you have some truth in what you said. After all, rare is the most precious thing. Even if Rattata is relatively common in the Pokemon world, it is rare in the real world. That's natural, even the shop owner like me doesn't have Pokemon for the time being. You're the first person to have a Pokemon, you're lucky, but now Rattata is rare, there's only one, but if the pet store becomes bigger in the future, it will be not necessarily. Ye Hao's mouth curved sinisterly. Chapter 5 Complete a transaction. That's right, there is no such shop after this village. So the price of Pokemon is more expensive. Ye Hao looked at the fat man, and he seemed to be richer, and the clothes were not suitable for ordinary people. Up. Shi Pingan listened, if you have this adventure, don't hurry, just come to this store for a while, Rattata is also fine, you can also sell cute, and Pokemon is very good, with Rattata, you can sell cute, second, you can have one more bodyguard, why not buy it? I bought the Rattata. What's the price of the boss? You see, I'm only a piece of fat. Can I make it cheaper? Looking at the fat man's shameless words, it's hard to imagine that he just disliked Rattata just now. Ye Hao said, Pokemon is not an ordinary pet after all. The price of this Rattata is 1 million. I think you are the first customer to open the store. I will give you a 20% discount, 800,000. The price of the system is set at 500,000 yuan, but if you are doing business, there must be room for negotiation on the price, Ye Hao thought wryly. I'll go, it's so cheap, only 800,000 for a Pokemon, Shi Pingan said excitedly. Okay, the deal, 800,000, boss, you are such a good person. Rattata is mine now, boss, how do you pay the bill? For Shi Pingan, who has a small pocket money of 1 million a month, it is not easy to buy a Rattata for 800,000. Ye Hao heard it, I went, local tyrant, hemp, the price is lower, you don't have to worry about this, as long as you agree, the pet store will naturally deduct 800,000 from your account. It's so awesome, my brother, boss, my name is Shi Ping'an, and everyone I know calls me Fatty Shi. I still have a question, can I come to the store to buy other Pokemon later? Hearing Shi Ping'an's words, Ye Hao, who was caught by the name, said, every customer who spends in the store will be marked by the pet store. After all, it is not that simple to cultivate Pokemon, and there will be many supporting services in the future. In the future, as long as you want to come to the pet store, you can come back as long as you meditate on the Pokemon pet store 3 times in a place where no one is present, while thinking about this place, but it is your consciousness that comes in. It is best to find a comfortable place to lie down. As for buying other Pokemon, it is naturally possible, but you need to wait a month before you can buy it, and the most important thing is that each person has a limit of 6 Pokemon, and you cannot buy more than 6. Ye Hao said while listening to the system's explanation. Ye Hao also had to sigh at the awesomeness of the system. As long as there is Pokemon, then the pet shop will continue to make black money. In addition, the tag also has the ability to prevent customers from leaking pet store information after they go out. Pokemon pet store in front of outsiders, you will be banned, but Ye Hao didn't say it. If a customer comes to the store and doesn't buy any Pokemon, the memory of coming here will be erased after they go out, so Ye Hao is not worried that his secret will be exposed for the time being. After hearing Ye Hao's explanation, Fatty Shi couldn't help but be equally astonished and said, so that's the case, boss, you really have great magical powers, and you have boundless mana. If there is any benefit in the future, you must inform the younger brother. Seeing that Fatty Shi was so familiar, Ye Hao couldn't help but smile bitterly. He handed the Pokeball in his hand to Fatty Shi. Ye Hao said, Rattata's Pokeball is for you, although it is an ordinary Pokeball, it has the function of a pet store. The external force is basically unbreakable, and if it exceeds the owner 10 meters, it will automatically jump back to the owner's side, not afraid of falling, except for the living environment that is not comparable to other special balls, other things are fine. Most importantly, if a Pokemon is injured or incapacitated, it should be retrieved immediately into the Pokeball, which will slowly reduce the Pokemon's injury. Thank you boss, this Pokeball is so convenient, it's a cool technology. Fatty Shi took the Pokeball in surprise and looked at it curiously. Because you were the first customer, I gave you the Pokeball for free. After that, the Pokeball will be packaged and purchased. Ye Hao said. Black, it's really black, who buys Pokemon and doesn't want Pokeball, isn't this a second stroke? It seems that the store manager is also a black belly. Seeing that a transaction was completed, Ye Hao was very excited. This task was finally completed. It seemed that the customers recommended by the pet store were quite reliable. Finally, I want to remind you that I have many functions that have not been turned on here, so you can visit them often later. The 2 most important areas have not been developed, the Pokemon treatment room and the Pokemon training room, one for treating Pokemon, and one for providing Pokemon. Level up your opponent. So for the time being, don't be too aggressive. If Rattata is injured at this time, he can only slowly recover with Pokeball, and Pokemon will not be upgraded without a Pokemon opponent, but he can exercise his skill proficiency. Ye Hao kindly reminded the fat man. Fatty Shi said happily, thank you boss, I will take good care of Rattata, delicious and spicy. Ye Hao just couldn't get used to the appearance of local tyrants. He heard the words and said, okay, now that the transaction is completed, you can go. The manager of the store is going to rest. Just as Fatty Shi picked up Rattata and planned to cultivate his relationship with Rattata, he heard Ye Hao's ruthless expulsion, and he was instantly injured by 10,000 critical hits. Okay, then I'll go back first. How do I return to the real world, boss? Fatty Shi said. How come and how come, aren't there 2 teleportation circles at the door? The blue circle is the circle you came in. You can go out by standing on the red circle. Ye Hao pointed to the door and said. This is the formation of the customer. Ye Hao, the shop owner, can come in and appear wherever he wants. After hearing this, Fatty Shi thanked him, thank you, boss, this world is so crazy, you can get lucky like this even in a game, haha. Hearing Fatty Shi's words, Ye Hao wanted to say that I can get the Pokemon pet system if I watch a meteor, what are you, scumbag? Fatty Shi brought the pet ball to the red circle at the door and disappeared in Ye Hao's eyes. Ma Dan, ding dong. The mission was successful. Ye Hao added a voice to himself. System, check my mission status. Ye Hao said. Congratulations to the host for completing the mission, the first transaction. The task index is 500,000, the transaction exceeds 300,000, and the evaluation is excellent. Quest rewards: open the Pokeball sales area. All customers who buy Pokemon can buy a Pokeball at the same time. At present, Pokeball unlocks Ordinary Balls, Great Ball, and Ultra Ball, and the prices are 100,000, 800,000, and 5 million respectively. When he heard the price of Pokeball, black, really black, but I like it. Because the host has exceeded the target, a special prize draw for the superior level will be awarded. Hearing the system's words, Yihao asked, "System, what is a superior level lottery?" The daily lottery can only draw Pokemon with qualifications below 3 stars, and Pokemon with excellent race, including excellent, or below, and the superior lottery can have a chance to draw 4 to 5 star qualifications. Pokemon with rare races are generally only rewarded by over-completion of tasks. Yihao was excited when he heard it. "I'm going, you said it earlier, why didn't you say it earlier, you said it earlier. If you say it earlier, I'll hit that fat man hard." Chapter 6 4-Star Boutique Persian. Host, do you want to start the lottery? Of course, if you don't smoke at this time, you will wait. Yihao said. A blue lottery level appeared at the front desk next to the original lottery machine, which was originally red and white. I feel that this lottery machine is more noble. Yihao praised casually, and his mood was indescribable at this time. Drop. Yihao pressed the button on the superior lottery machine, the lottery level shook for a while, and then a white light shot out from the machine. Pokemon that looked like a cat. There was a red gem on the top of his head, his body hair was all milky white, his ears were round, and his pupils were red. There are 3 cat whiskers on the left and right sides of the face, some like a little lion. It's just Persian, so handsome. Yihao came to Persian excitedly and stroked Persian's fur, which was much more comfortable than Rattata's. Persian didn't recognize birth either, and was very useful to Yihao's touch. System, scan Persian's data. Yihao said. Persian, general attributes, height 1.0 m, weight 32 kilograms. Features, skilled master, that is, a technician, can increase the power of low power moves when attacking. Qualification, 4-star, boutique, 4 times the comprehension race value, rare. Status, level 10, growing. Tricks, catch, tackle, glare, growl, bite, fake out, swift, play rough, hypnosis, hereditary, iron tail, hereditary, thunderbolt, comprehension. Comprehensive combat power, 3-level and 3-fold combat power, superior in Persian, worthy of training. Yihao, who saw Persian's attributes, was drooling and sloppy. Compared with Persian's attributes, the previous Rattata was simply unwatchable. The 4-star boutique Persian has a rare racial value, which is too powerful. Whether I will not sell it or not, Yihao felt his chin and thought, for the time being, Persian should still be the treasure of the store, so keep it for now. Release task, in view of the excellent performance of the host, complete 10 million transactions within 10 days. Mission time, 10 days. Completion rewards, unlock Pokemon Food Cabinet, Pokemon Medicine Cabinet. Failure penalty, streaking around the county government. I'll go, I'll slap you, you're an excellent ghost, a scumbag, what the hell is the punishment, what the hell is the county government running around streaking around? It's estimated that if you can't run around, you'll be run over by the security guard and sent to the Public Security Bureau or a psychiatrist. I seriously suspect that the system has a bad taste, it's a fucking black belly. However, the rewards are good, unlocking the Pokemon Food Cabinet and the Pokemon Medicine Cabinet. With these two, Pokemon food and injury treatment are guaranteed. No need to stay in the nursery all the time. Speaking of which, what if the fat man's Rattata didn't have Pokemon food before? Forget it, Rattata is a rodent Pokemon, an omnivorous animal, and should be able to deal with it for a while. Although you can eat food from the outside world, in terms of nutrition and taste, it is definitely worse than what is in the Pokemon pantry. However, the system does not unlock the Pokemon treatment room first, but unlocks the Pokemon medicine cabinet first. It really is a black system, and it will deceive customers again. Pokeball from the Pokeball sales area and took back the Persian, rest well, Persian. Put Persian's Pokeball in the breeding warehouse, and did not regard Persian as a product on the shelves. Only the pet store will not push customers. Only when there is a Pokemon on the shelf will the pet store guide customers to come. Yihao also returned to reality. Come. I found that there was a bank card transfer record on my mobile phone, which was an unknown account number of 80,000 yuan transferred to myself. It's just that Yehao sold Ratata's money before, the system got 9, Yehao got 1, hemp, this system is a bit dark, but Yehao is still very satisfied. The money came relatively quickly, Yehao thought happily, there will be surprises every day in the future, haha. The origin of the money transfer is processed systematically and will never attract the attention of the relevant departments, so Yehao is not worried that the relevant departments will invite him over for tea. With these 80,000 yuan? Well, tomorrow I will eat 2 bowls of wontons for breakfast, I will eat 1 bowl, and I will pour 1 bowl, pankang nao fiki. Yehao, who returned to the pet supply store, took a look at his pet supply store. I still have to do business on the surface. Well, open the door and welcome customers. Reopening the store's rolling door, it's still 9 o'clock in the morning, it's still early, and it's not too late to open the store, Yehao comforted himself. But after doing it for a while, he found that Yehao, who was not cared about by anyone, was lying on a reclining chair in the shop. Ignoring Yehao, who was lying comfortably in the shop, let's talk about Fatty Shi. Out of the Pokemon pet store, woke up from the table in his room, how can you fall asleep in the dark, and have such a strange dream? Fatty Shi, who woke up, has not recovered yet, and still feels incredible about what happened to him. Oops, I'll cheat my teammates. Fatty Shi yelled while looking at the failure interface on the computer game interface. Then I went back to the group to find a good friend who opened the black. I saw that they had already started scolding in the group, and Fatty Shi, who knew that he was wrong, hurriedly typed, I'm sorry, everyone, you don't believe me when I say it. Crossed. Seeing that Fatty Shi made a sound, the basic friends in the group chatted. You idiot, we all win this game, but you come to give me this set, you can kill yourself. Super Ghost Master said. Look at what you can, why didn't you go to the sky and traveled through it, why didn't you talk about saving the earth? Northeast Xiaofixiang said. Give you 82 likes, and I will give you 666 likes for the rest. +1, said the remaining dragon and cuttlefish. Fatty Shi knew that these people wouldn't believe it, but in fact he didn't believe it himself. Ding dong, a text message was sent from the mobile phone beside him. After Fatty Shi checked to see if he believed it or not, he picked up his mobile phone and saw that your so-and-so bank card transferred 800,000 yuan. I rely on it. Seeing the content of the text message on the phone, Fatty Shi burst out in disbelief. Is it all true? I'm going to post it. Fatty Shi said tremblingly. Then he touched the pocket of his trousers, because Fatty Shi is fat, so the trousers are all large, and I didn't notice it just now. Now Fatty Shi touched a ball as soon as he touched it. Fatty Shi hurriedly pulled the ball out of his trousers pocket. Ow! Fatty Shi exclaimed excitedly when he saw the half-red and half-white pokeball in his hand. It's too powerful, boss, I'll go to your immortal board, my Fatty Shi is pale. Fatty Shi said excitedly. Come out, Ratata. Fatty Shi threw the pokeball towards the open space of the room, a white light flashed on the touch, the pokeball returned to Fatty Shi's hand, and a purple Ratata appeared on the ground. Chapter 7 Yi Sweking's Escape from Marriage. Cool. Ratata on the ground, come here, Ratata. Ratata knew that this Fatty would be his future master. Although he was a bit wretched, Ratata had nothing against Fatty Shi. As long as there is something to eat, who is not to follow, Ratata ran to Fatty Shi's side while thinking. Fatty Shi ran over Ratata on the ground, touched Ratata's head, and thought that it was indeed a Pokemon, and his IQ was definitely higher than that of cats and dogs in this world. Let's give you a name first, Ratata is too ordinary, how can you keep up with my fat man's style, and you will be called Avatar in the future. Nodding, Fatty Shi was satisfied with his name for a while. Hi. Fatty Shi asked Raticate to perform a trick of the meeting. Watching Ratata shake tail whip against the air, Fatty Shi almost didn't sweat a drop of cold sweat. This should be tail whip, which can lower the opponent's defense. But this is not cute, and then Ratata crashed a chair, and a flash of white light crashed a table. Fatty Shi nodded. This should be tackle and quick attack. Generally, low-level Pokemon can use such skills with low damage. But Pokemon is Pokemon, even if it is a skill with low damage, and it has such power at a low level, it is estimated that the impact force can break bones when it hits a person, which is amazing. Fatty, she didn't show off Ratata everywhere. Although Ratata is relatively small, it is still different after all, so it is better to keep a low profile, and it can be of great use when it is critical. Feed it now, and when the owner's pet store is more awesome, you can buy more Pokemon to improve your strength, and then you can be in the air in seconds. There was a sound of ding ding dong dong, the bell at the door rang, a person came to the store, and Yehao, who was dozing off, immediately started to do it. Looking at it, she is a girl about 165 in height, wearing a black all-match casual top and beige casual pants, showing mature charm, layered swing collar, walking at the forefront of fashion, showing a rich visual layer feel. At first glance, she is a mature and beautiful young woman, with curvy eyebrows soft and attractive, her charming eyes rippling with autumn water, and her veins are full, and her tender skin is flawless. The tender ones are about to drip, especially the small mouth of a cherry that is red and dazzling, extremely captivate, which makes people confused. The waist is soft and slender, with a good grip, and the slender figure is slender and exquisite, and the bumps will appear, which is eye-catching. I'm going, where did such a superb young woman come from? I feel that even some stars on TV can't compare. Although Xioxin is also a great beauty, she does not have the mature charm of a young woman, but her youthful vitality. The two women have their own strengths. What's the matter? I met two beautiful women in the morning, and I couldn't stop this kind of character. Hello, what do you need? Yehao stepped forward and said to the beautiful young woman. Yin Sueking glanced at Yehao and said, "Are you the owner of this store?" Yin Sueking did keep a ragdoll cat at home, but she didn't enter the store now because she wanted to buy pet supplies. Usually, Yi Sueking would not come to such a small pet supply store to buy these things. Today, I entered this pet store by accident to avoid a group of people who came to find her to get married. That's right, Yi Sueking ran away from home to escape the marriage. Yi Sueking's father is the boss of a listed company, and her mother is the vice president of a gynecological hospital in the city hospital. It can be said that she has a good family background. But because of some circumstances in the family, she was betrothed to a family son-in-law. What age is this, and the marriage is still arranged, and the marriage will be completed within 3 months of knowing her. It's like taking her marriage as a joke. So Yi Sueking resolutely ran out of the house, from Linan City to a small place like Ning County, Yongcheng City. No one thought that Yi Sueking would be so bold, and no one thought that she would escape from the marriage, but she was able to escape successfully. Unexpectedly, within 3 days of arriving in Ning County, Yi Sueking, who stayed in the hotel, felt a little bored and planned to go out to go shopping, but found that some people were sneakily following her. In Ning County, Yi Sueking didn't know anyone at all, and these people didn't look like hooligans, so Yi Sueking, who found something wrong, immediately guessed that it might be someone from the family's son and brother who came to her. After all, although her father was the CEO of a listed company, his energy was not so great, so he could extend his hand from Linan to the city of Ningbo. Yi Sueking came to the street from the next street through the alley in a hurry. When she looked up, she saw a pet supply store called Meng Pet Le. As soon as he entered the store, he saw a young man in his 20s lying on a reclining chair. Yi Sueking thought to himself, "Haha, are you sure you are looking at the store? It feels like you've given up on treatment." "Of course, I'm the owner of this store, beauty. What do you need?" "As long as I have pet supplies, I have all the supplies." Hearing Yehao's question, Yi Sueking couldn't help but find an excuse. "Well, okay, boss, you can leave me alone, I'll take a look first." When Yehao heard it, there was no drama, and another one came in to hang out, but fortunately she was a beautiful woman, not an ant, at least she could feast her eyes. Yehao nodded and returned to the seat, staring at Yi Sueking, and seeing Yi Sueking's eyes did not look at the product much, but looked out the door frequently. Although Yehao felt a little strange, he didn't ask anything, and he didn't know him very well. Maybe she was waiting for someone. For a while, the shop returned to a quiet atmosphere. Yehao didn't make a sound, and Yi Sueking didn't make a sound either. A few minutes later, seeing Yi Sueking still standing, Yehao couldn't help but say, "Beauty, are you waiting for someone? If you are waiting for someone, you can do it for a while." Yi Sueking was also very embarrassed when she heard it. She went into the store to make it clear that she had no plans to buy anything, but she was afraid of bumping into people following her when she went out. So Yi Sueking thanked her and sat down on the sofa for customers in the store. Not long after sitting down, there was another ding-dong bell at the door. Ye Hao saw 5 people came in. The 4 behind were all dressed in uniform black suits, and the leader was a middle-aged man in a white suit. I'm going, what are you doing, wearing such a formal dress? What rhythm, is this woman waiting for someone? Yi Sueking couldn't help but turn pale when she saw the person who came in. She knew the man who was in the lead, and he seemed to be the butler of some clan's son. Miss Yin, you make it difficult for us people to do this. You know that because of your willfulness, the family is in a mess now. Where do you put Ling Xiao's face? Come back with us. The leading man said. Chapter 8 I can't stand this. When Yi Sueking heard the man's words, she immediately lost control of her emotions. She shook her head loudly and said, I won't go back, and I won't go back if I die. This wedding doesn't have my consent at all, so why should I go back? You don't have the final say in this matter. Your father, mother, and everyone in your family have already agreed to this marriage. You have no choice. Besides, Ling Xiao is the only heir of the Wang family. If it wasn't for some reason, do you think will he marry you? The middle-aged man said mercilessly to Yi Sueking. Xiao Tao, Ah Bing, you two take Miss Yin back. Miss Yin, you better not resist, and you can take less crimes. The middle-aged man said to the 2 behind him, and then to Yi Shuesunny reminded. The middle-aged man didn't look at Ye Hao from the beginning to the end, as if Ye Hao didn't exist at all. Of course, to him, Ye Hao was an irrelevant passerby. However, Ye Hao couldn't listen to it anymore. He thought it was someone like a beautiful woman, but his feelings were someone who came to arrest her. Ye Hao wanted to laugh when he heard the words of this middle-aged man. What age is it now, and there are still people forcing marriage? Although Ye Hao didn't know the specifics, Ye Hao could clearly feel that Yi Sueking had no intention of marrying that Ling Xiao at all. Seeing that the 2 men in black behind the middle-aged man wanted to step forward, Yi Sueking was already a little desperate. Ye Hao couldn't bear it anymore. When these people came to the store to arrest people, did they ever ask him, the boss? He is too arrogant. In broad daylight, he actually grabbed people so blatantly. Wait a minute, it's not good for you all to do this. This beauty has made it clear that she doesn't want to marry some bullshit Ling Xiao from your family. Do you still want to show your face? The sudden sound in the store sounded, reaching everyone's ears, and all eyes hit Ye Hao for the first time. Young man, this is not something you can manage, and you are not qualified to manage it. The middle-aged man in white said to Ye Hao, and then gave Ye Hao a deep look. It's really a little scary, if Ye Hao didn't have this gut tube before, but isn't this a system? It's a little bloated. After listening to the middle-aged man, Ye Hao is not annoyed. Back, uncle, I don't want to deal with this kind of thing, but you guys are too daring, you want to arrest people elsewhere, I really can't control it, but if you arrest people in my shop, the shop owner won't agree, after all, this beauty is my client, who gave you the right to arrest people. Hearing Ye Hao's words, the middle-aged man was a little amused. It turned out to be a stunned young man who wanted a hero to save the beauty. The 4 big men in the back heard that they were not as qualified as the middle-aged man, and laughed. I think this kid is sick. He thinks he is a big man. That's right, a small shop that is about to close down. He really considers it his own territory. I have to ask you. The big man said mockingly. You hear it, don't look for trouble, some things are not something that a small person like you can ask about, live your life honestly, and be careful not to provoke people you can't provoke, the middle-aged man said to Ye Hao. Yin Sueking was overjoyed to hear someone speak for her, but she lost hope when she saw that Ye Hao was speaking. At this time, seeing that Ye Hao would be implicated by herself, she couldn't help but said, don't embarrass him, Uncle Shang, I'll go back with you. Uncle Shang heard this, he nodded, then let us go, Miss Yin. After looking at Yin Sueking, Xiao Tao and A Bing behind him came to Yin Sueking's side and made a gesture of please. Yin Sueking was just about to go out. Go. It seems that you are not listening. If there is an accident, I will be blamed for not reminding you. Ye Hao said behind him. In Yin Sueking's opinion, Ye Hao felt that he couldn't get over his face, and he wanted to say something harsh to save face, but his impression of Ye Hao had also changed, and it was not worth advancing or retreating. Boy, you are crazy. When a big man saw that Ye Hao dared to threaten them, he immediately wanted to walk up to Ye Hao and teach Ye Hao a lesson. No, this matter has nothing to do with him. Yin Sueking said. The big man listened to it, but Ye Hao said, it doesn't matter, you are my customer if you enter this store. These people are clearly here to arrest you. If I can't even protect the customer, what business do I have, beauty, and all you have to do now is say I need helping hand. Boy, I think you really don't want to live anymore. The big man who put down his wrists heard Ye Hao's ignorant words and called out, and after that, he raised his hand to beat Ye Hao. I have to admire your courage. I have a very fierce pet. Be careful not to be killed by my cat. Ye Hao said softly, looking at the big man in front of him. The big man rushing towards Ye Hao suddenly seemed to have hit something, and then suddenly flew upside down. The big man's body should be out of sight. None of these people saw what happened. The big man who flew back fell down in the middle. On the ground beside the young man, he vomited blood, raised his head and looked at Ye Hao in disbelief before fainting. How is it possible? This kid has a ghost. Is it the disciple of some hidden master? Uncle Shang looked at the fainted big man, glanced at Ye Hao, and guessed in surprise. Boy, no wonder you have the guts to meddle in your own business, but I don't care who you are, you must know that the Wang family is a big family in Mingdu. It's not what you can imagine. You have to think twice before doing things. Uncle Shang faced Ye Hao coldly. Speaking of. Ye Hao chuckled, it's not that I'm going to provoke you, it's that you provoke me. If you want to take action against me, you will have to pay the price, no matter who it is. After seeing Ye Hao's words, Uncle Shang's forehead jumped with blue veins for a long time. No one has put on such an arrogant attitude in front of him, which is very good. Okay, very good boy, I haven't shot for a long time. People who dared to talk to me like this before are already 3 feet tall. I was worried about which acquaintances junior you are. If I want to let you go, let's shoot. Boy. Uncle Shang put on a stance and said to Ye Hao. I'm going, when I'm scared, this posture makes it look like a big master, this is a big heaven, you think it's like in a movie, it's like a sack, sinking into the bottom of the river. It wasn't me who did things from the beginning to the end. You have to figure it out. You can be so cheeky when you don't take care of yourself. I admire you people's faces. Ye Hao continued to sneer. Yin Sweking couldn't help laughing when she heard Ye Hao's words. Before, she felt that Ye Hao was overthinking his strength and naturally didn't have a good face, but after seeing Ye Hao killing a big man in an instant, Yin Sweking seemed to see a glimmer of hope. Hearing Ye Hao's ridicule, she couldn't help laughing subconsciously. Uncle Shang listened to Ye Hao's words and Yin Sweking's laughter, all so harsh, he couldn't help shouting, looking for death. After speaking, he used the tiger shape and Xing Ai fist, with amazing grip, and swooped towards Ye Hao. Ye Hao felt a slight wind pressure on his skin. I'll go, this uncle is too unusual and fierce, is it really a master? Chapter 9 The Power of Persian. Seeing Uncle Shang's aggressive and powerful moves, Ye Hao naturally knew that he couldn't stop him. Of course, even the previous big man Ye Hao would not be an opponent, so he never planned to resist Uncle Shang's offensive by himself. You don't have to be a fool to have a golden finger. The system borrows Persian. Ye Hao meditated in his heart. In an instant, a Persian who looked like a little lion with a gem on his head appeared in the place between Ye Hao and the uncle. Uncle Shang looked at the sudden appearance of Persian in surprise, and he couldn't even shake the offensive in his hand, but Persian didn't hesitate at all when he came out. It was a trick to fake out against Uncle Shang. The original effect of this trick in the game was a move to preempt the attack and interrupt the opponent's attack must be used immediately after the game to be successful. Obviously Persian has a judgment on the strength of Uncle Shang and Uncle. He used a trick tackle to kill the big man before, but when dealing with Uncle Shang, Persian used a special trick. Before Uncle Shang could react, he felt that an attack had hit him. His chest hurt and he took 2 steps back. He groaned, and a mouthful of old blood almost didn't come out. Uncle Shang's face turned red. Forcibly swallowed a mouthful of blood. The 3 big men and Yin Sweking behind him all looked at Ye Hao in amazement. What happened? Uncle Shang was pushed back by a cat. Hey, what is this? Why does this look like Persian? Said Xiao Tao, who usually pays attention to Pokemon. Although Yin Sweking has never played Pokemon games, she still knows about cute pets like Pikachu, so after seeing Persian, I vaguely got the impression that this is a creature in the 2nd dimension. What, Xiao Tao, do you know what this is? Others asked Xiao Tao. Xiao Tao said with a wry smile, of course I know, and you all know that I usually have a hobby of watching anime and playing games. This Persian, it's a creature in a game. This Nima, is it a mess? After listening to Xiao Tao's words, the others also felt incredible, too disturbing, and today's encounter is too fucked up. Uncle Shang also heard Xiao Tao's words and knew that the creature in front of him was not a creature of this world, so he couldn't help feeling strange. Ye Hao naturally knows that he can't reveal his identity now, but the system sent a side quest when he was busy, so that's why Ye Hao didn't hesitate to expose Persian to prevent these people from taking Yin Swecking away, but subjectively Ye Hao also wanted help this pretty beauty. Side quests. Recruiting the first clerk. How can a pet store not have high-value employees? That is too much. Boy, persuade Yin Swecking, who graduated from the medical school, to join the Pokemon pet store as a medical staff. Completion reward. Open a pet treatment room and reward the 5-star leader Pokemon Chansey. Failure penalty. Obliteration. Seeing the side quest that suddenly popped up, Ye Hao was excited. He didn't expect the rewards of the side quest to be so generous. Then look at the punishment for failure. Well, it's obliteration. Is there any humanity? Can't play happily. System, I have a question, what if I expose Pokemon and are spread out by these people? Ye Hao asked the system in his heart. As long as the host completes the task, the extra reward will erase the memory of these people within a day. After a pause, the system returned. I'll go, you never thought of it before, Ma Dan, thanks to my cleverness, I asked a question. With the guarantee of the system, Ye Hao was relieved, so he started pretending to be a taunt without a brain. You know how powerful it is. Persian is not something you can deal with. I advise you to put down this woman and you can go. Ye Hao saw that this awesome Uncle Shang is not a Persian general, and he couldn't help it. Continue to start the comparison, I was still a little panicked before. Uncle Shang was in a hurry when he heard it, and he didn't care what the Persian cat brother said, give it to me, I don't believe this kid can go against this guy. After listening to Uncle Shang's words, the remaining 3 big men all reacted. They surrounded him, but Xiao Tao, who knew how powerful Pokemon was, had a bitter look on his face. When he was young, he had fantasized about having a Pokemon. I'm going, this is going to be a gang fight. Ye Hao looked at the 4 people in front of him, and it seemed that he was going to make a big move and make a big attack. I don't know if these people can stand it. If they hang up, it will be hard to explain. Persian, use Thunderbolt with less power, don't electrocute me. Ye Hao said to Persian. I'll go, no, Xiao Tao flashed back when he heard that he was busy, and the rest, including Uncle Shang, didn't know what was going on. When he heard Persian scream, an ember appeared from his body, instantly on his body. Formed a current, divided into 4 strikes to the 4 people in front of him. It was actually electricity. Uncle Shang's eyes narrowed and he wanted to dodge, but how could the speed of the current be something that the human body could react to? Just when he realized that it was not good, Uncle Shang and the other 2 were already shocked by the current. When he got hit, Xiao Tao, who had retreated before, hid behind the big man beside him, but the current didn't hit him. However, the remaining 3 people were not so lucky. Including Uncle Shang, the 3 of them were shaking in the electric current. The dance is unscrupulous. Uncle Shang's whole body was scorched black by the electricity, their hair was standing upright, white smoke was blowing, and they fell down, seeing Ye Hao's scalp tingling. It's so powerful, my cat, Ye Hao praised in his heart, oh, there is still one standing here. Ye Hao looked at Xiao Tao who was still standing and said playfully. Xiao Tao looked at the end of the other 3, his legs and feet trembled a little, he watched Ye Hao look at himself, and said tremblingly, big brother, I was wrong, I shouldn't help Joe, please let it go. Xiao Tao was about to cry with fright. You can imagine a tall man of 1.8 meters, kneeling tremblingly while talking, how beautiful this picture is, anyway Ye Hao didn't dare to look at it, okay, look at your sincere remorse. For his sake, Persian, put him to sleep with hypnosis. Xiao Tao, who heard Ye Hao's first sentence, was about to express his gratitude when he heard the latter sentence. You can believe it when the turn is so fast. Persian's hypnosis in disbelief and snored. Persian's strength is really unfathomable. Ordinary people can't stop it at all. You see, in an instant, 4 big men, 1 Uncle Shang who seems to be skilled in martial arts, lost his fighting ability, perfect. Ye Hao commented on this battle, although Ye Hao did nothing. But Persian's strength is not Ye Hao's own strength, Ye Hao thought shamelessly. Beauty, I just said, no one can touch you in my shop, now you believe it. Ye Hao said to Yin Swecking who opened his mouth wide and looked shocked. The beauty is still so cute no matter what expression she has. You brought them all down. It's amazing. I'm Yin Sweking. Thank you for saving me. It's a pleasure to meet you. Name, thank you. Although Yehao already knew Yin Sweking's name, but after listening to Yin Sweking's words, he still said, no thanks, this is what I should do, my name is Yehao, but now I have unfortunate news to tell you, you know too much now, you should know how to do it. Yehao smiled. Chapter 10 Yin Sweking, a medical clerk. Hearing Yehao's words, Yin Sweking immediately looked at Yehao with a frightened expression, aren't you trying to kill me? Don't, I won't say anything, woohoo. Haha, Yehao said with a smile, although you said so, but if you want to protect the secret, now you only have two options. The first is to click. At the same time, Yehao made a gesture. I choose the second one. Yin Sweking said immediately. Yehao was choked for a moment, what about your integrity, beauty, you just escaped marriage with such a righteous word. Well, the second is to join my Pokemon pet shop. You have to sign a contract with the pet shop. From now on, you will be a regular employee of the pet Pokemon shop, and you will have your own Pokemon. Yehao said to Yi Sweking continued, while Captivate arrived. Yi Sweking's eyes lit up and said, really, do I have such a powerful Pokemon too? After hearing Yehao's words, I know that I can have such a boring Pokemon and protect myself, so I still need to be afraid of these to catch. Are you married? Of course, but you have to abide by the treaty. Yehao said looking at Yin Sweking who had already taken the bait. When Yin Sweking heard the treaty, she said, what treaty, can you talk about it? Seeing that Yin Sweking was still so rational, Yehao nodded and said, the existence of the Pokemon pet store must be kept secret, at least 8 hours a day, and if there is any emergency, it must be done immediately. When you come to work in the store, you can't violate my orders unless your privacy is violated. Can you do all of this? Of course, as a condition, I will naturally solve your life safety, so you escaped marriage. I'll help you sort things out, how about it? Hearing what Yehao said slowly, Yin Sweking couldn't help but think, wouldn't there be no freedom in the future? Is this kind of life really what he wants? I will add that it is your consciousness that enters the pet shop to work. Your body will still be protected by the system in the real world. It is like entering a light sleep, so don't worry about not having freedom. What do you like to do at other times? What are you going to do? Yehao said looking at Yin Sweking who was in deep thought. That's it, that's fine. I agree. Please advise me in the future, store manager. Yin Sweking said. If this is the case, then you only need to go to the store for 8 hours a day, which means that it is also possible to rest at night, this wave is not a loss. Ding dong, side quest, recruiting shop assistants, 1, completed, the completion reward will open the pet treatment room, a 5-star leader Chansey, please go to the Pokemon pet store to collect it. Hearing the system prompt, Yehao was happy, okay, welcome, Yin Sweking, from now on you will be the medical staff of our Pokemon pet store, equivalent to Nurse Joy of Pokemon. Then Yehao glanced at the 5 people who fell on the ground. These people are not good here, so he said to the system, System, you said you would help me deal with the aftermath, you can deal with these people. Okay, host, in view of your good performance, complete your request. As soon as the system's voice fell, the 5 people lying on the ground had already been teleported away, and there was nothing to see in the store, and even the traces of moving had recovered. I'll go, the system is really a golden finger, it's amazing. Where are these people, system? Yehao asked. They have been moved to an unoccupied alley thousands of meters away, and the system has also erased their memories of the day, so these people will not reveal the host's secrets, but the problem of your clerk Yin Sweking needs to be solved as soon as possible, otherwise it's still a hassle, it's not good to reveal the identity of the host prematurely. Yehao nodded after hearing the system's words. The system still thinks more thoughtfully. It is not an easy task to solve the problem. It seems that the Wang family has a lot of power in Mingdu, but this is Yongcheng after all. Not so arrogant. Why did they suddenly disappear? You won't silence them all. Yin Sweking looked at the 5 people who disappeared, and then looked at Yehao with a look of fear. She originally thought that Yehao was the hero who saved the beauty, but she turned out to be the real identity. Could it be the great demon king who wants to occupy the earth? Did he get on the wrong ship of thieves? Seeing Yin Sweking's expression, Yehao knew that she was thinking too much, and said, "Don't worry, I'm not so mad, I just don't want them to know some secrets that they shouldn't know, send them away, and treat them at the same time." The memory has moved a little bit. After listening to Yehao's words, Yin Sweking thought, sure enough, he is not a good person. After Yehao finished explaining, he walked to the door of the store and closed the door. "What are you doing? What are you doing when you close the door during the daytime?" Looking at Yehao's actions, Yin Sweking called out again, "I won't do anything bad, right? Didn't I agree that I can't do anything that endangers my personal safety and privacy? Can we do it? Be an honest and trustworthy person, no?" After listening to Yin Sweking's words, Yehao knew that Yin Sweking seemed to be thinking a bit crooked. "I'll go, what kind of image does an upright person like me look like in your eyes? Didn't I say that you want to enter the Pokemon pet store consciously, close the door, find a place to lie down, I will take you into the pet store, you also have to contract the terms of the contract with the pet store, and then familiarize yourself with your working environment, assign here's a Pokemon." Yehao said helplessly. Okay, the store manager." Yin Sweking, who knew that she was thinking crookedly, said embarrassedly. Yehao was relieved to hear it. "I am also a boss with employees, and I am also a beautiful woman." Yehao closed the door of the store and said, "Okay, you will be wronged first and lie down on the sofa." After that, Yehao lay down on his own reclining chair. Yin Sweking also came after hearing Yehao's words. "Lie down on the sofa in the store. System, take us into the Pokemon pet shop." Yehao said to the system. Yehao, who had already had experience, closed his eyes and went to the Pokemon pet store to open it. When he opened his eyes, he went to the front desk of the pet store, and Yin Sweking happened to be beside Yehao. "Here, have we arrived at the pet store? It's amazing." Yin Sweking, who had adapted, said happily while observing the surrounding situation. Was so surprised when he first came to the pet Pokemon spot. "Okay, after signing this contract, you are the official employee of the pet store." Yehao picked up the contract that the pet store gathered and said. "If you sign this contract, Yin Sweking will be Yehao's employee. The kind that can't run is basically a contract of prostitution." Yin Sweking looked at the terms listed in the contract. The basic categories were the same as what Yehao said. As for some small contracts, they were all relatively fair terms. Yin Sweking signed her name with confidence. In an instant, the contract on his hand turned into a light spot and disappeared in the air, and then a mask of Nurse Joy representing the medical staff and a pokeball appeared on Yin Sweking's hands, which seemed to be a high-level heal ball. It's amazing." Yin Sweking, who knew that her life would be wonderful in the future, was still not immune to such a thing, and said in surprise. Chapter 11 Defying Chansey. "This is your identity in this pet store. From now on, the Pokemon treatment room will be under your control. You must wear a mask in the store to keep your identity mysterious. Then this is your exclusive Pokemon, Chansey, an assistant. Chansey, who is super strong and has a lot of medical knowledge." Yehao, who was talking, had the urge to beat the system. "Heck, a new employee comes with such good benefits, Chansey, a 5-star leader, I still have it. Without Pokemon, the only Persian with a 4-star boutique is not mine." Inexplicably sad, after listening to Yehao's words, Yin Sweking said happily, "Thank you, manager." After that, she released Chansey, looking at the cute pink Pokemon in front of her. Yin Sweking was even happier, hugged Chansey and said, "I will invite you from now on." "Great advice, Chansey." Chansey has a pink, egg-shaped body. It has hair-like projections on the sides of the head, replacing a single curl on the top of Happy Ina's head. Chansey has short hands and a short tail. The lower part of Chansey's body is fatter and has a pocket with an egg in it. Chansey also liked Yin Sweking very much. Lucky called twice. "System, scan Chansey." Yehao said looking at Chansey. Chansey, general attributes, height 1.1 m, weight 34.6 kilograms. Features, heavenly grace, God-sent luck, double the chance of additional effects of moves, healing heart, easier to heal Pokemon in abnormal state. Qualification, 5 stars, leader, 5 times comprehension race value, rare. Status, level 30, mature. Tricks, defense curl, pound, growl, tail whip, refresh, double slap, raw egg, bestow, minimize, take down, double edge, return, substitute, Calm Mind, Light Screen, Protection, Safeguard, Ice Beam, Magic Shiny, Inheritance, Metronome Gong, Inheritance, Healing Bell, Inheritance, Aromatherapy, Inheritance, Natural Gift, Inheritance. Comprehensive Combat Power, First Class Triple Combat Power, Leader Level in Chansey, Excellent Qualifications, not a Pokemon for combat, the biggest use is in the help, so although the combat power is not high, but the training value is great. Hint, Wild Chansey is very rare, and it is said that those who catch it can gain friendship and great luck. It means that the owner's luck will be better. I rely on. Yahoo is not calm after reading Chansey's data. People are more popular than dead people. I thought Persian was already very tired, at least after Rattata 18 Streets. I didn't expect it. Chansey's data looked at Yahoo was completely abnormal. As expected, it is indeed a template for a 5-star leader, but it is too defiant, let alone 2 characteristics. There are so many moves. It is indeed a talent with 5 times the comprehension, and it is actually a first-class combat power at level 30. This is fucked. Now, what about Fatty She's level 5 Rattata? The most important thing is that he is not fighting Pokemon, but he has triple his combat power when he reaches first-class strength. What do you do with Persian? The strength is only 3 times the combat power. As for the auxiliary treatment, it is completely destroyed. Well, it seems that the system also has a color vision. Seeing that the girl is so beautiful, I gave it to such an awesome Pokemon. It can fight and can resist and heal. It is absolutely safe, senior bodyguard, and cute. The important thing is he meows can improve luck. That's fine, it's against the sky. Am crying too much, Yahoo said to Yin Swecking, who was still playing cute with Chansey. Swecking, it seems that you and Chansey are getting along very well. This Chansey is very qualified. Well, don't waste its talent, let me take you to the workplace, the Pokemon treatment room. Have lost her temper? She nodded and said, okay, boss, I will work hard. Chansey will be my most important family member from now on. Chansey called out happily. Seeing one person and one pet in front of him, Yahoo turned around, planning to be out of sight and out of mind, and said, come on, keep up. Took the lead to the door of the Pokemon treatment room. I couldn't enter it before, but now it has been unlocked. Naturally, I can open the door and open the door to enter the interior of the treatment room. The shape inside is very similar to the shape of the Pokemon hospital in the anime. This space feels bigger than the lobby of the pet store outside. The Pokemon treatment room is also divided into the front hall, the front desk, the instrument area, the surgery area, and the recuperation area. Okay, this is where you are going to work. There are still no customers. If there are more customers in the future, your work will be busy, but generally as long as the machine recovers its stamina, it will be fine unless it hurts the source of Pokemon. Healing will be needed. You need to familiarize yourself with the knowledge of Pokemon and the healing machines. There are also some medical skills from another world, you can learn them all. Yahoo said. Pause, he continued, the commission ratio is the system, the store manager, you are 89% of the system, the store manager is 10%, and you are 1%. The ordinary treatment is based on the level of strength, the base is 2000 yuan, and the price of each previous stage is 2000 yuan. 5 times, the price of surgery needs to be 10 times higher than the previous one. Don't feel dark, this is the price set by the system. Black, really black, in the later stage, what do you ask customers to do? I will go, it's easy. Yin Swecking also felt that the price was very high, and it seemed that it was not something that ordinary people could consume, so she couldn't help asking, the price is so expensive that ordinary people can't afford it at all? Boss, your target is not all local tyrant bosses, right? At present, the pet store has just started, and the number of Pokemon is small. Of course, the target can only be placed on the local tyrants. If it develops in the future, there will be other charging methods, and there will be no customers at that time. Yahoo said, of course, these are also systems I told him, as for what charging model will be in the future, I did not say. Of course, Pankan Huan's sack is good, but he also lacks it anyway. Okay, I have brought you familiar with the environment. From now on, it's good to come here for 8 hours a day according to the contract. Now let's go out. If you want to come back here in the future, just enter the Pokemon pet store in your heart in a place where no one else is. Yahoo said to Yi Swecking. Okay, boss, you have the final say. Yi Swecking said. The two quickly left the Pokemon pet store and returned to reality. Yi Sueking looked at the pink Pokeball in her hand and said, "It turns out that everything is true, it's great." Ye Hao couldn't help laughing when he saw Yi Sueking's performance. "Now that Chansey is there to protect you, I believe your safety factor will also increase, but the place you live in must be unsafe, you'd better change the place, or rent a place for you in my name. So they will find it's not easy for you, of course even if you find it, you don't have to be afraid, right?" Ye Hao said to Yi Sueking. When Yi Sueking heard what happened to her, she couldn't help being serious, and said, "There are definitely more than those 5 people who came to see me. It is estimated that the hotel I stayed in was already under surveillance by their people, and now I can't go back. Boss, do you think it's safe for me to stay in Ning County?" Chapter 12 Wang's Reaction. Ye Hao thought for a while and said, "Don't worry, the most dangerous places are safe, just put on a disguise and dress up when you go out on the street, it shouldn't be discovered for the time being. I have let the system falsify some information for you, they will think that you have left Ning County, it should not be easy to find you so quickly, after all, their base camp is only in Mingdu, it is still relatively difficult to find you. This is also the system's protection for the safety of the store staff. I'll help you find a place to live nearby. Don't come out for a while, stay in the house and wait until the limelight passes." Ye Hao said. After listening to Ye Hao's words, Yin Sueking finally felt relieved. In her impression, the power of the Wang family was too strong, and her family was already considered a good force, but she did not dare to resist the Wang family. Now she has met such a miraculous person as Ye Hao. And the magical pet store, Yin Sueking's uneasy heart finally settled down. It's nice to have such a boss, and I feel so safe. The inexplicable Yin Sueking had a good impression of Ye Hao. Well, okay, I will listen to the manager's arrangement. Ye Hao was relatively familiar with this area, so he rented a single apartment in a nearby apartment very soon that day. There was no luggage in the hotel, but some key valuables Yin Sueking had already taken with him. Ye Hao, who had settled down with Yin Sueking, couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Today was really busy with various things. But in general, it's a good thing. The top priority should be to complete the main quest and gradually accumulate strength. Yin Sueking's trouble is not small, and those people may find it here sooner or later. On the other hand, Xiao Tao, a big bodyguard, had already woken up. Among these people, he was the only one who didn't suffer any harm. He was just like sleeping. Of course, they were discovered. The 5 of them fell unconscious together in a small alley. Although few people passed by, it did not mean that no one was there, so they were discovered, and they called the police and called the hospital. At this time, a group of people surrounded the 5 people and talked a lot. "Look, these 3 people are scorched black, their hair is standing upright, and they feel like they have been struck by lightning." "Nonsense, I recovered from being struck by lightning long ago. I think it was touching the switch, but how would you usually smuggle the switch in a group? It's not a fool to look dressed up. And it's not a case if it fell in the alley. Yet, it's scary." The voice of a group of people made Xiao Tao slowly wake up. "I went, what was the situation, why was surrounded by a group of people?" Somebody woke up, "Look. Young man, do you know what's going on?" As soon as he woke up, he heard the questions of the people around him. Xiao Tao said that he was also at a loss. "Okay? He rested in the hotel well, why did he come here as soon as he woke up, what's the situation? What's the matter, why are you people surrounding me? What happened?" Xiao Tao said blankly. "You guys, why are you guys all passed out here? It's not that the brain is broken, it's memory loss." After Xiao Tao finished speaking, his mind became a little awake. He observed the situation around him and saw the other 4 people who were also lying on the ground. "I went. We seem to have been plotted." Xiao Tao came to the other 4 people to observe their situation, all of them fainted, and Xiao Tao, who found that the situation was not right, immediately took out the phone and asked the companions who came together, but they said that Yin Sueking had been found in Ning County. However, at that time, the 2 groups of people went to the hotel and went to the street to find Yin Sueking, so they didn't know what happened next. Xiao Tao couldn't believe what his companion said, why he didn't have any impression at all, he just remembered what happened last night, and he didn't have any impression of what happened today. It feels like a memory in the middle is missing. Could it be that something happened in the process of tracking Yin Sueking? Xiao Tao, who found that the situation was wrong, immediately took out his mobile phone and called a person, the person who sent them over. "Hey, young Master Ling, we have been plotted, Uncle Shang, the other three and I are all following ye. What kind of accident happened in the process of the young lady?" Now Uncle Shang feels as if they were hit by an electric current and fainted. The other companion was also knocked out after being hit with a few ribs, and the most terrifying thing was me. I can't remember what happened at all. Xiao Tao trembled and reported the situation to the person on the other end of the phone. "Waste, the information has been given to you, you can't even bring back a woman, what's the use of asking you? Just now you said that Uncle Shang and the others were stunned by electric current, and you can't remember what happened. Did you encounter supernatural powers? I will send someone else to find Yin Sweking." After Wang Ling finished speaking, he hung up the phone. Leaving Xiao Tao on the mobile phone side, he thought at a loss that it seemed that Ling Xiao would enter the harem in the future. After hanging up the phone, Wang Ling pondered. Originally, he thought it was the ridiculous behavior of Yin Sweking, a stupid woman, but now he seems to have some inside information, and it can actually alarm the superhuman. Is this an accident or premeditated? "Go, send someone to call Shendong over," Wang Ling said to the attendant beside him. The attendant nodded and went down. In less than 10 minutes, a man was brought in, a man of less than 30 years old. He was very handsome. After seeing Wang Ling, he said to Wang Ling, "Young Master Ling, I don't know what to look for. I'm here for something." Wang Ling glanced at Shendong. "Shendong, you are an abandoned disciple of Tianmen. You are good at phantom movements and phantom knives. 5 years ago, my Wang family came forward to protect you. Now there is a matter that I have to ask you to do." Shendong couldn't help but be moved. "I don't know what made Ling Xiao so serious. You should know about my so-called fiancé's escape." Seeing Shendong nodded, Wang Ling continued, "Just now one of my subordinates called, and a group of them broke down, including Shang Jun. You should know what strength does Shang Jun have, and he is proficient in Xingyi Iquan, which is not something ordinary people can take down." Shendong nodded and said, "That's right, although Chinese martial arts and ancient martial arts are somewhat different, Shang Jun's strength can at least block 20 moves without me using the phantom sword. It is really good for someone who can defeat him. Although this is to praise Shang Jun, it is more of self-confidence. I know your strength, but you don't have to be careless. This time the opponent should be a power user, but I don't know if it's one person or multiple people. From the report, there are thunder shock, and other injuries. It is estimated that the opponent is not easy." Wang Ling reminded that Wang Ling guessed that Xiao Tao's loss of memory may be caused by excessive astonish causing short-term memory loss, which is really a waste. "I know Ling Xiao, I will be careful, I don't know where I should go to find them." Shendong was not afraid after hearing it and asked. Wang Ling looked at Shendong's expression and nodded. All powerful people are a bit arrogant, but it's not a bad thing. They encountered an accident in Ning County, Yongcheng City. You can go to Ning County first, but it doesn't have to be in Ning County all the time. When the time comes, there will be information from the family to cooperate with you. You will have to find it yourself, and there will be other people who will cooperate with you in your search." "Okay, then I'll set off, lest any accident happen." As soon as Shendong heard this, he got up and said goodbye. Wang Ling nodded and looked at the back of Shendong's departure. Secretly, "No matter who you are, since you want to fight against my Wang family, there must be no good end." Chapter 13 Target 10 million. It's been 3 days since the last storm. In the past 3 days, Yehao has been taking normal daily draws. They are the ordinary Weedle with 2 stars of ordinary race, the Pidgey, Bobo, with high quality of 3 stars, and one with good character and excellent race. 2-star ordinary Mankey, and it seems that the daily Pokémon are only level 5. As for Pokémon S data, Yehao doesn't want to talk about it. Anyway, Yehao doesn't want to say much about these Pokémon after seeing the rare 4-star boutique Persian and 5-star leader Chansey. Don't want to mix up words. However, there have been no customers for the past 3 days, and Yehao was also a little anxious, and then asked why the system had no customers these days. Is it because the pet store's function was not working properly, and the system complained? Host, the system considers the host's face. The pet store's supply has been despised by customers before, so for the pet store and the host's face, you should save some supply first. I'm going, can you blame me for this? Isn't it because you only allow 1 draw every day? If you let me draw unlimitedly, the supply will be filled in minutes. Then what should I do with my mission now? I have to complete 10 million in 10 days, 3 days have passed now. Yahoo asked the system. Then I don't care. This is the host's business. The pet store will definitely arrange it when the time comes. Don't be so anxious. After listening to the system, Yahoo said that he seemed to be molested by the system. Then I don't care. It's impossible for the pet store not to attract customers all the time. When a customer comes, as long as he has money, he is not afraid that he will not sell it. At that time, they will be slaughtered severely, Yahoo thought fiercely. On the fourth day, Yahoo, who came out of the breakfast shop, was in a particularly good mood. These days, he came to the happy breakfast shop every morning to chat with Zioxin. The two of them were very close, and every time they could find a topic to talk about. Anyway, after the development of the past few days, Yahoo and Zioxin have become relatively good friends. Yahoo, who returned to the store, went to the Pokemon pet store. Today's daily draw has not yet been drawn, and today there are 4 Pokemon as a source of supply, and there is a Persian town store, as well as beautiful women Yin Swecking and Chansey. There are already some pet stores in scale. In the past few days, Fatty She has been here twice. The opening of the Pokemon treatment room also notified Yahoo that he is the only successful customer. On the same day, Fatty She went to observe the Pokemon treatment room, and was still clinging to Yin Swecking, so angry Yahoo threw him out of the pet shop. Extract. Yahoo, who pressed the ordinary extraction machine, said silently in his heart. With a white light appearing in front of Yahoo is a pile of eggs. This should be Execute, such an evil name. Execute looks like 6 light pink eggs with some cracks on the eggshells, and the general arrangement is that 5 heads are crowded around the 6th head. Each head has a slightly different facial expression, but each face has a small mouth and triangular eyes with small, dark cone-shaped pupils. One of the 6 eggs will expose the yolk, or brain. Although it looks like an egg, Execute is actually more associated with plant seeds. Pokemon data scan, Yahoo said. Execute, grass attribute plus psychic attribute, height 0.4 m, weight 2.5 kilograms. Trait, chlorophyll, sunny or sunny effect, double the speed. Qualification, 3-star, high quality, 3 times comprehension racial value, excellent. Status, level 5, nascent. Tricks, pitching, uproar, hypnosis, synthesis, inheritance, giga drain, inheritance. Comprehensive combat strength, double combat strength for novices, Execute with good talent. Oh, Execute's data seems to be good, and the 3-star high-quality Pokemon with excellent race should be the best one I've drawn in the daily draw, and the grass plus psychic attribute is also good. Yahoo is happy to see Execute's data. Road. Having Execute and adding the previous ones, Yahoo felt that it was time to open, and the pet store did not disappoint Yahoo. A girl came on the same day, and she was a cute girl. In layman's terms, she was a loli. Loli is good. Let's see how Mr. Yahoo shows off his superb skills to fool the client again. As soon as the loli girl Tang Daodu came to the pet store and saw Yahoo, she shouted excitedly, "I heard that you sell Pokemon, is it true, boss?" Tang Daodu said that he was only in rest, and dreamed of a Pokemon in his dream. The voice asked himself if he wanted a Pokemon. Anyway, it was a dream. Tang Daodu who said he happily agreed, and then he came to this Pokemon pet shop, and then saw the wretched boss wearing a mask. Looking at the excited loli, Yahoo expressed that he wanted to know how the pet store fooled her. Yahoo saw the method of the pet store to attract customers, and it seemed a little abnormal. Don't be excited, little sister, you can come to prove that you are the chosen person, Pokemon will have it, but you have to know that there is no free lunch in this world, the price of this Pokemon. Yahoo paused and said, you know. Although he can't see his face, Tang Daodu said that he felt a hint of conspiracy when the boss said this. You can rest assured, I can be very rich, and my relatives give me a lot of New Year's money and pocket money every year. I'll go, don't take the New Year's money to fool me, Yahoo said. Now my Pokemon has Weedle 800,000, Pidgey 1.5 million, Mankey 1.4 million, and finally there is a more expensive Execute starting at 2 million, you can quote the price first, if 3 days later, if you bid the highest and you win. I don't know which one you're interested in. This is what Yahoo thought temporarily. If Execute is the race after evolution, it can be the king, and it is also a high-quality 3-star qualification, and the psychic attribute is added. You must know that the psychic attribute is still relatively rare, and naturally needs special treatment. Anyway, this world is the least what is lacking is all kinds of luxury. Boss, I don't like what you said, I just like Pikachu and Eevee. Tang Daoda said. I'm going, it's so difficult to serve, although the race values of Eevee and Pikachu are also excellent, so theoretically it can be drawn daily, but the chance is too low, there is no such thing now, is this business so bad? Little sister, we can't be too demanding. I think the Pokemon I mentioned are pretty good. You can buy one first, and if I have Pikachu and Eevee in the future, I can also buy you first, how about it? Yehao can only continue to flicker, of course, it's not actually flickering, if there is one, it can be given priority to her, too. But I don't like any of the Pokemon you mentioned, boss. Weedle, people hate bugs the most. Mankey has an ugly pig nose, and his appearance is too low to meet my aesthetic requirements. Pidgey is good, but it's not cute either. Execute is good, but if evolution becomes Executor, it will be ugly. Tang Daoda said with some disgust. Well, your reasons are very strong, I can't say enough about you, Yehao sighed. Well, I'll put a mark on you, if you have Eevee or Pikachu, I'll keep it for you, but I'll give it to you now. Go out and you'll forget what's going on here until the next time the pet shop brings you in. What's the matter, what if you forget me in the future? Tang Daoda was a little anxious when he heard that he was going to forget what happened here. This rule feels so pitiful. If the boss forgets himself in the corner, he will miss the chance in his life. What? Well then, I will participate in Execute's bidding activities, the big deal is that I will not let Execute evolution. Yehao felt choked. This Loli's thinking seems to be completely different from that of normal people. She only looks at appearance, not strength. You must know that after Execute evolution, the King race Pokemon is more powerful. I really don't understand. Chapter 14 Someone dares to make trouble. In this case, you can make an offer now. If your price is the highest after 3 days, Execute will be yours. Yehao said to Loli. Okay, Uncle Boss, you are really a profiteer. If I donate 5 million yuan, I won't have the money to buy other things I like. Tang Daoda said pitifully. Regarding this sentence, Yehao said that there are 2 points to vomit. The first feeling is that there is so much money in your so-called New Year's Eve. Ma Dan, I don't really understand the world of the rich. As for the second one, Yehao said, okay, I've written down your offer, and little girl, don't call me uncle, I'm not that old yet. Tang Daoda curled his lips after listening to it. No matter what your uncle said, I still have a question, are you sure that if I have something like Pokemon, if someone finds out, it won't be taken by the relevant State Department and sliced? This question is very level. Yehao has also asked the system before, how to ensure the safety of the sold Pokemon, as well as the safety of customers. The safety of Pokemon is guaranteed. First, use the Pokeball to retrieve the Pokemon. The Pokeball is protected by the system, so the Pokemon in the Pokeball is absolutely safe, and the Pokeball has the function of identifying the master and will not leave the owner 10 meters away. If the distance exceeds 10 meters, it will automatically return to the owner. Second, the body composition of Pokemon is very special. Pokemon will be injured, lose the ability to fight, or even die, but Pokemon's body will not be missing. Because Pokemon will only reduce HP when attacked, and will not break hands or feet, so although Pokemon is a physical existence, it is still similar to data creatures. Third, and most importantly, Pokemon who are incapacitated will have a system protection. If you don't treat it for a long time, you will fall into a dying state, and finally die completely digitally, dissipating between the heavens and the earth, so once the Pokemon receives damage, it must be treated in time. Yehao watched Tang Daoda listen to his words seriously, nodded, and continued, in addition to Pokemon, customers who buy Pokemon will also receive special treatment in the future. For example, if the job transfer system is activated, they will become it is more powerful, and it will be safer if you have the professional equipment Pokemon Guardian Belt, and if you open a special profession, you will have special abilities. For example, the hero who is transferred to the hidden profession Aura will have the ability of Aura. Do you hear it here? A little excited. Tang Daoda was already very happy when he heard about the protection of Pokemon before, and later learned that the owner of Pokemon can still change jobs and have special abilities, so he couldn't help but say even more happily, great, great uncle, I know my you know. I want psychic in it, and it's so convenient to have psychic. Yihao laughed when he heard it, although this lowly's thinking is indeed a bit abnormal. Don't you know how handsome and powerful it is to have psychic? It is for convenience, Yihao said. Since you want so much if you are psychic, then execute is very suitable for you. You must know that execute has the properties of psychic. Sending away the excited little lowly Tang Daodu told Yihao his name before leaving. Yihao came out after staying in the pet Pokemon shop for a while. Now that he has Tang Daodu's 5 million, it doesn't matter if the bid is not as high as Tang Daodu, the remaining 500 should be easier. Sure enough, he is a genius, but relying on the New Year's money of flicking the little lowly, Yihao expressed his admiration for his current face, but everything is for himself, not to run naked and to upgrade the system. Yihao said that he had a Pokemon dream in helping hand Tang Daodu. Anyway, this little girl is rich, and it would be nice if she could get Eevee or Pikachu to compensate her first. But as soon as Yihao came out, he received a text message from Xioxin. Hey, didn't you see it at breakfast just now? I don't know what happened. Yihao clicked the text message excitedly and saw the content. Brother Hao, someone is making trouble in the store. After reading the text message, Yihao is not calm anymore. Ma Dan, which bastard dares to make trouble in Xioxin's store? Yihao immediately rushed out of the store, not even caring about the store, quickly crossed the road, and trotted all the way to Happy Breakfast. From a distance, he saw a group of people around the door of the breakfast shop. Yihao saw that it was not a big deal to watch the fun. Such people are indispensable everywhere. Yihao, who came to the door of the shop, did not rush in. Facing a man in his 30s surrounded the door and asked, Brother, do you know what happened inside? When the big man saw Yihao, he didn't recognize him, and returned, I don't know the specific situation very well, but I know that there are a few gangsters making trouble. It should be extortion, saying that eating the steamed buns here hurts my stomach. Make sure the boss pays for the damages. Yihao knew this was the old way of some gangsters, but isn't Li Qinghai the local snake in this area? Most of the shops on this street have paid protection fees. Li Qinghai is a good person. He has always been said that although he is a gangster, he also speaks of morality in the rivers and lakes. As long as he pays the protection fee, he will be at peace with each other, and at the same time ensure that no one else makes trouble. More importantly, this Li Qinghai is still Yihao's best friend. He is Yihao's youngster and doesn't like to read. He has been in the society for a long time. Now he is the head of the Yunhai Club, with dozens of brothers in charge. There are 4 or 5 streets in this area. Li Qinghai contributed the most to Yihao's pet supply store before. Why are there other gangsters happening now? Yihao didn't think much about it. After listening to the big man's words, he understood the general situation, so he squeezed into the crowd and walked in. There were a few gangsters wearing this casual outfit and tattooed inside, arguing and cursing, and one of the gangsters was lying on the table and humming. One of them wearing sunglasses shouted, If you don't give us an explanation today, we won't leave. You don't want to do business. The 2 yellow-haired and red-haired next to him also shouted. Among them, the yellow hair has been staring at Xioxin, and at a glance, he knows what he is thinking. Jing Zong is an honest and responsible person, and he couldn't help but panic when he encountered this situation. Several little brothers, this small shop of mine is a small business. Too many. Xioxin, who was on the side, was very angry. And these people made it clear that they were here to find trouble? Yet, don't you just want to extort money, and pretend to have a stomachache? How can anyone else eat it? It's okay, it's just him, who knows? Is it fake? Even if you eat a bad stomach, you don't need 10,000 yuan. Is your stomach made of gold? What are you talking about, little girl? You have eaten something from your house and ruined your stomach, right? Said the bastard wearing sunglasses. Huang Mao, who was on the side, had some thoughts about Xioxin for a long time. After listening to Xioxin's words, he couldn't help shouting, It seems that I want to teach you a lesson and let you know that our brothers are not easy to bully. He tried to catch Xiao Xin. You've reached the end of part 1. Want to know what happens next? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Join Patreon and continue the story from part 2. Thank you for listening and supporting the channel.